Hey everybody, this is Ken Fortney. I am a local SEO expert, particularly for like you home services folks. I've been doing this for many years now. I'm also the owner and founder of an agency called That Local Pack. And we help, particularly like in the local cleaning businesses, various types of cleaning businesses show up in local Google search results without clients really having to pay for ads unless they want to. But really, the name of the game these days is showing up when someone pulls out their smartphone and searches for X services near me. Okay. What I want to do is demonstrate for you what I call a Google assessment. This is where I look at a particular business. I try to understand how their online presence looks to their customers, the likelihood of them getting the calls they need to grow their business merely from showing up in Google. And I find the problems, I lay them out. I give these businesses a checklist of things they can do themselves. Typically, when I'm doing this for a potential client, I also give them a quote. But what today I'm going to do is demonstrate this in the form of a video for all of you local service businesses out here, with the hopes that it helps you grow your business, right? I think local SEO, obviously, it's my line of work, is the most important thing you can do as a local business owner. Anything you do to increase your ability to show up in local search results means money, money, money for your business, because that is the number one way customers are going to look for you and give you a call online. Now, from there, it's up to you to have a nice sales process, handling customers over the phone well, making it easy for them to get a quote or a bid. But really, the start of everything for your business is when you show up in a local search from people's smartphones, and that's where I specialize. Again, this stuff that we're going to look at has nothing to do with a business paying for ads. Ads can be helpful, but they are expensive, and they are not the most efficient way to be successful in your local market. Okay, here's what I want to do. I'd like to generally like back out of the country, pick a city, anything that comes to mind, pick an industry, do a search for it, and see what those businesses are. And I'm just going to pick at random a business that I think is probably a very, very quality service there in the local area, but they're not performing online as well as I think they ought to be. And we're going to figure out why. Okay. I want to do Flagstaff. I do a lot of road tripping. I've driven across the country like at least 6 times, probably more. Flagstaff is always one of those places I enjoy stopping in. It's a cute town. It's never that busy, and it's also gorgeous. So that's why I'm picking Flagstaff today. I want to choose just your regular old maid service house cleaner. So I'm going to do house cleaning, Flagstaff, Arizona. Now, what's going to show up is about the same as if someone living in Flagstaff with a home that needs a cleaning searches house cleaning from their Google Maps or just from Google in general. It's going to deliver about the same results here, but I'm not in Flagstaff right now, so I can't do that search, but I can do this search. Okay, so let me look through some of these results here. This is great. I see a lot. I don't see many sponsored. Sponsored means they are throwing ad money behind it, which means it's not as authentic, but it can get the job done if you have the money for it. These top 3 right here are getting the lion's share of calls from people living in Flagstaff needing a maid service. These 3 right here: Pristine Cleaning, Flagstaff Cleaning, and Merry Maids. They're a Flagstaff lovely franchise, Merry Maids. You all are doing a great job with your local SEO, so kudos. Let's scroll down a little bit further. Now, I'm looking for an actual house cleaner, so it's interesting. Like sometimes you'll see a window cleaner show up for a house cleaner. That means they are trying to be optimized for house cleaning also, but that's not their main thing. All right, let's take a look at these guys. Pine Forest Home Cleaning Service. They've got 8 reviews, all stellar. That's great. I see them ranked as how far down? 1, 2, 3. These are getting all the calls. 4, 5, 6. They're ranked 6. Not too bad for only having 8 reviews, but I also think these folks could be performing better. So I want to dig into this a little bit. All right. First of all, I'm going to look at their Google business profile. They got some things filled in here, and that's great. They've got photos. That's a good thing also. First of all, I like to go to a local listing site called Moz Local. Now, when it comes to listing your business online, having a verified Google business profile is the very first step. This is a verified Google business profile. They went through the verification process. Kudos. You should always do that, even though it's obnoxious to do so with that new video verification. But Google's not the only place where you can list your business. And having your business listed in many local listings across the web with your business information, accurate name, phone number, and address really helps you show up higher than your competitors. I want to do a search on their local listings and see if they've got some gaps in their listings, and give it a few minutes here. Now, while Moz is doing that, I also want to take a look at their website. So let's see what their website looks like. Ooh, we got a problem. All right, so it looks like they have one, but it's listed as not secure. So I'm not even going to go there. Now, if it's not secure, it could mean nothing, but it also could mean that their website poses a risk for people who would visit that website. It likely means that they do not have a SSL certificate, which is something Google needs to see in order to know that this domain is protected, this website is safe. So that's a huge thing. It's basically like they don't have a website, and that's a real bummer for these guys. They have a domain, but they don't have a website. That's definitely going to be holding them back from being great online. Okay, let's look at the local listings. Let's see. All right. This is a problem for them also. They've got some listings, but not a lot. So that's going to hurt them as well. You see that there are many listings online where they could be listed. All these places typically are free to list your business. It is tedious to get it done. I do it for businesses because I have a team that does it for my clients. But getting listed on all these places, having information that is fully correct, they do have 15%. So good for that, but a problem for everything else. This is a fix they ought to have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just fill out my form that I use. It's going to calculate a score for me, a score out of 100. What I'm doing here is, one, I'm checking to see that they have a verified Google business profile, which they do. Huge. Number one, biggest thing. Then you remember I came here to search their listings. I'm looking to see how much was missing, how much of it was correct. And I found that more than 75% of listings were missing for them. I also found that less than 25% listings were correct. They only had 15%. Now, typically, I'm going to run their website through my Ahrefs SEO checker. It goes through and combs their website for issues of any kind, whether they be obvious issues or behind the scenes technical coding issues that would be having them perform poorly for people who land on their website. Since their website has a security issue, and I'm not going to risk my systems to go there with the risk that there might be something dastardly going on with that website, I'm going to note it's a security issue. When there's a security issue, they're most certainly not even going to be able to be examined by my Ahrefs. So they're going to get the lowest possible scores on all of these website-based indicators, right? Now, I did see that they were ranked in the top 10, not the top 3, but the top 10. I believe we had them ranked at 6. Quality backlinks, that's not something I'm able to check. And for people who would be backlinking to them, they're likely going to remove that backlink if they're backlinking to a website with security issues, right? Now, a backlink is important because that's how Google tries to determine the validity and helpfulness of a particular website. When a quality website that Google already holds in high esteem because it's been around for a while, it puts out a lot of really good content, it's accurate, it's helpful, and that website links back to another website, Google looks at that as a referral, which brings a lot of credibility to the site that just got a backlink to it. They do not have any quality backlinks. This person does not have a scheduled appointment. Just doing this for you all. No additional notes at this time. Now we're going to see their score. It's not going to be high. 30, and it's actually higher than I expected. Probably the main thing that's giving them a higher score than expected is because they're ranked number, I believe, 6. So being in the top 10 does help them, but again, they're missing out on the lion's share of the calls. All right, so here's what we found with Pine Forest Home Cleaning Services out of Flagstaff. When we took a look at their online presence, we are giving them a Google assessment score of 30 out of 10. I've seen way worse, still not good, right? In order to really be competitive in a market like Flagstaff, you really want to be seeing a score at least over 80, ideally in the hundreds. All my clients have 90 or above, right? Now, as far as pros, right? Because 30 could be worse. What are some pros they have? Well, they did get a verified Google business profile. They set it up, they filled out part of their profile, and they went through the verification process, maybe even doing the video, which kudos to them. Really important. They did that. That is foundational, right? They already have a handful of 5-star reviews. The more work that they do and the more they ask their customers to leave positive reviews, the more they will get, and that will be huge for them. They are also still ranked in the top 10 in their local area. Despite some of the things that we're going to point out today, that means that with just a little bit of effort, they can bounce one of the top 3 out of their spot and begin to get the lion's share of home cleaning service calls in their area, which would be great for them, right? Now, so here's some of the cons. Problems. Why are they not near the top 3 right now? Well, they are missing some information on their Google business profile. They have categories. You can choose primary and secondary categories. They also can list their services down to the types of cleanings they do. They also have a question on their profile that has been gone unanswered. You can actually add FAQs to your Google business profile either by customers or potential customers asking you a question. You go on there and reply to it, or you add your own questions and answers, what you commonly get from your prospects or potential customers, right? That helps you immensely. Also, you can post weekly updates on your Google business profile with photos. Before and after pictures are some of the best things you can do on your Google business profile. You really only need to do them weekly. Some of my clients get weekly updates posted multiple times a week, but doing at least on a weekly basis is huge for you, and they could be doing that. Now, next, they really need to be listed on all those other major online directories. To get back into that, what do I mean by that? Well, there are literally thousands of online directories. These are things like online phone books, if you will, places you can list your business there, usually for free. Some examples of these would be like Bing. Even a Facebook business page is technically an online directory. Brown Book, Yellow Pages Online, even the Better Business Bureau. Also known in these directories are things like map apps, right? So you can actually create a business listing on Waze, MapQuest. You thought that these were obsolete. They're really not. Google consults all these places in order to understand just how legitimate your business is. Now, you don't need to be listed on all thousands of them, but I'd say there are at least 40, 50 or so that are really important. If you are listed on those directories and your information is accurate, you are golden with Google. Unfortunately, Pine Forest Home Cleaning is not being listed on most of these critical directories. So that's one thing definitely holding them back. The other one, of course, we already talked about it. We tried to click through to their website, has a major security issue. That's not okay. It's going to freak out customers, even if the security issue is actually nothing really at all, right? So what do they need to do to fix these issues and show up in the top 3 and begin to get the lion's share of the calls from their community and begin really exploding their business? Well, first, they do need to fill out their Google business profile, right? The things I already said. You can go in there. It doesn't take you but just really an hour or so at most, probably less than that, to fill out as much as you can, all the primary and secondary categories of your business, the services that you provide, adding commonly asked questions, responding to reviews. If someone leaves you a review, you can respond to it with a thank you, always professionally, of course, even if you get a bad review. But you can do the same thing with responding to questions that people post on your Google business profile. And then, like I said, posting those weekly updates for this business, Probably some before and after pictures would be amazing for them if they're able to do that at least on a weekly basis. And hey, if they have a Facebook business page, which they really need one, they ought to have one. If they're posting weekly updates on Google Business Profile, they can literally copy paste that post onto Facebook also, and now they've got 2 places where they're posting weekly updates. That visual, that post, all of those things really help Google understand the nature of this business and how they ought to be ranked higher, right? Next, they do need to be listed on all the major directories, like I said. All right. And then, of course, they need to dig into their security issue. What's going on here? Is it something as simple as getting an SSL certificate that may be actually free, just needs to be activated if they're using something like SiteGround or Bluehost, or what's some of the other ones out there? They may even be using Squarespace to build their website, but usually there's a free SSL certificate that you can get with your domain. It just needs to be activated. If it doesn't, you need to get one, and they're very inexpensive. But there might be something else going on than the SSL. This is something where they would need an expert, most likely, if it's not something as simple as an SSL certificate. That's where someone like me would come in. We dig in a little further to figure out what that problem is, get it fixed as soon as possible. Now, once that's done, they really need some quality, helpful content. What I mean by that, typically in the form of blogs, it really depends on the business owner. If they don't have the time or the inclination to like make helpful videos, which I get, most local business owners do not have that kind of time. Blogs are great. They are fantastic, and they want to be focused on relevant keywords. Relevant keywords are simply phrases that your potential customers would type into a Google search bar related to the services you provide and your location. So for my clients, when we're putting out helpful quality content on their website, we do it regularly, multiple times a month for our clients. We optimize their current web pages on those relevant keywords, making sure, again, having the right keywords for the services they provide and the location where they're at. Names of neighborhoods, names of street corners, towns you work in, right? And then we put out blogs that are helpful content that people will want to read and find helpful. Those things are enormous. Probably besides your Google Business Profile being verified and filled out, putting out regular quality content on your website is the second most important thing that's going to help you get ranked top in your area, right? And it's not just the map pack, what we looked at. There's also just a simple Google search, what shows up in a regular search results page outside of that map view. Having that content is really critical. And then lastly, getting those quality backlinks from reputable third-party websites is also a huge deal. That is something typically where they would also need to hire an expert. If they're also not great at writing or putting out content on their website, they would need a expert for that as well. But there are a lot of things here that they can do on their own without having to pay anybody to do it. And hopefully the security issue on their website is simply getting that SSL certificate activated. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I plan to do more on my page. And if you ever have any questions about your local service business, how to figure out what's going on, why you're not ranking in those top 3, I would love to help you out. Reach out. Thank you.